And we'd like to welcome the Golf Channel coverage here as the 48th Walker Cup is underway on a picture-perfect day at Seminole Golf Club, hosting this incredible competition for the very first time. And for the very first time being staged in the month of May here in the United States. And the United States trying to keep its role of wins in Walker Cup matches through the years here on home soil. They're up in 3 of the 4 matches. Dyer and Lamb represent the only winning number right now on Great Britain and Ireland's side. Best amateurs in the world for Great Britain and Ireland, and the best for the United States. As you look at one of the stalwarts here at the par 5 ninth, second for Stuart Hagestad in his 3rd straight Walker Cup at the age of 30.
Advantage USA here. GB&I is laid up down the left side. Hagestad hits a very good looking shot here at the center of the green. 250 covers the front.
That's pretty impressive. That's a great leave. Advantage US.
Yep, and advantage in the match. 1 up over Flanagan and Bolton as we shift back over to the par 3 13th.
Barkley Brown from Great Britain and Ireland, his second bones.
Extremely difficult. Got to generate some spin. And it's just gotten away from him. And boy, oh boy, the momentum in this match is right in the Americans' pocket at the moment.
Yeah, without a doubt, they went to the turn, and the Americans won the 10th, the 11th, the 12th, potentially on their way to winning a 4th consecutive hole for Cole Hammer and Davis Thompson.
The first match in these competitions, Burko, is always so huge. You put out your best players, the guys you think are the hottest, and you just want to make a statement in these matches right out of the gate. And this is a real statement by the American team. It looks like the internationals are in trouble, GB&I. And they got off to a great start with a birdie at the first as well.
I'll tell you what, Paul, this is a great chance for Davis Thompson to give his partner a bit of the needle here and basically get in his ear and say, hey, you know that really bad lag putt you hit on the last hole? You have a chance to atone for that right now, so give me a little speed coming down this hill.
Well, it's about as fast a putt on the whole golf course. This hole and the next hole, probably the 2 most, well, maybe the next hole for sure the most severe green, but this is incredibly quick, Bones. All you can handle to lag this up, give me.
We probably overuse the term glassy when talking about putting surfaces, but that's exactly what these are. These might be the finest Bermuda greens I've ever seen.
Cole Hammer for birdie to win another hole for the Americans.
That's nicely done.
Cole Hammer, one of the 3 Americans that played in the Walker Cup in 2019 at Royal Liverpool. Also won the U.S. Amateur 4-Ball Championship 3 years ago alongside Garrett Barber. Played in the U.S. Open at age 15. He's made it to the semis of the U.S. Amateur and the U.S. Junior. Talented Texas Longhorn. Back to his winning ways this spring in the college golf season. Almost a must-make here for GB&I.
Boy, and you got to feel bad for Fitzpatrick. He certainly feels that he let Barkley down with that errant tee shot here in such a big spot.
Jack Dyer's 4th back at 11. Remember, GB&I got in trouble on the water off the tee, so one last desperate swing here. As that trickles off the edge or to the edge. Seemingly going to get a concession here, perhaps, which would erase Dyer and Lamb's 1-up lead.
That was a good putt there for bogey.
That was Barkley Brown at 13, so GB&I in with a 4. Davis Thompson, a couple feet remaining to send the Americans 3 up, Bones.
And the putter's got to feel really good in his hands at the moment after the huge putt on 11 from off the green and a par putt on 12 to win the hole outright. got to feel good in his hands. But it's interesting. Davis has a little bit of Kevin Na in him. He hits these putts and goes after the ball very quickly when he likes the line the ball takes.
He walked that one in on the first, Bones. Yeah, you know, when you make a couple putts, your confidence soars. It goes off the chart. And that's what he's dealing with here. He's off the chart confident. Beautiful putt.
Americans now 3 up in that opening match.
America, 3. United States of America, 3 up.
Drop back to 12. A couple of birdie putts upcoming. Looks like Quade Cummins first to go, Kurt.
Burko, he hit another one of those head-high drives, this time with a 3-wood off the top of that hill at 12T and left Eckroat only 77 yards to the hole. Just an incredible drive by Cummins again there, back into that breeze. And now he has an opportunity to make first here. He's got about 12 feet. It is very quick. It's a little downwind, downhill, downgrain, so he's got to be careful with it. GB and I, they're a little closer to the hole also with a birdie putt.
Cummins and Eckroat 3 up in this match. They won the first 2 holes, have not looked back.
You know, every once in a while when you do these team events, somebody on the team gets some apparel that doesn't fit quite right. And
sounds like you have some experience with that, Zing. It's
incredible. You have to bring a seamstress with you to every one of these events to fix what went wrong. But well, look how fast this putt is. Okay.
First look at the par 5 14th, 501 yards. There's no better scene behind you anywhere that I can think of behind the 14th tee there, hard by the Atlantic Ocean, heading back away.
Boy, a lot of helping wind here and a very gettable flag. We should see some putts at Eagle today in these foursome matches.
Yeah, this tee shot's going to keep them honest, though. The bunker on the right might be flyable, and there's a nice gap between the 2 bunkers.
This is hammered up the left center.
Appropriately by Cole.
Oh, yeah, that's just going to be a short to middle iron.
Just a part of your show, Bonds, that's all. Boy, Hammer and Thompson have been putting the hammer down, to just borrow another one. 3 up now as they've won those 3 consecutive holes. So it's a little scramble time here for Barkley Brown and Alex Fitzpatrick.
And they cannot afford to miss this fairway. Barkley seems to like this one. Absolutely perfect.
Just sliding by the Americans. So the second shot's upcoming at this opening match as both captains went with some firepower, as you were talking about, Zing. Important to get off to a good start as we go back to 12.
Mark Power, this for birdie to win the hole.
Great look to cut into that lead.
Yeah, it's not going to break that much. Wow. And that's still not a gimme. Oh, did they concede it? Yeah.
All right, so the morning foursomes mentioned that Hammer and Thompson in control. Cummins and Eckroat as well, 3 up. Meisner and Castillo tied through 11 with Dyer and Lamb, and Hagestad and Mao 1 up through 8 over Flanagan and Bolton. Saturday at Seminole Golf Club at the 48th Walker Cup match, the biennial competition, which pits the best amateurs in the world from Great Britain and Ireland against the best of the best from the United States. Very first time this competition has been staged in the Sunshine State, and the very first time on American soil in the month of May. Morning foursomes already out, alternate shot, as we get ready for 8 singles matches this afternoon in the first session. And you see a couple of American dominations there with Hammer and Thompson, Cummins and Eckroat both 3 up. The other match is very, very tight as the United States looks for its 4th straight win in this event on home soil. As we check in with Eckroat at the 13th and bring in Steve Burkowski.
Good morning, Dan. Americans on a heater in this match, Kurt Byram.
Well, that was a good looking shot right at it, but that is an extremely deep bunker that he is in.
Yeah, we saw Alex Fitzpatrick moments ago in that same bunker. So perhaps a bit of an opening for GB&I and John Murphy.
They really need to take advantage of it. That birdie putt at the last hole was a great opening for them. They just haven't been able to get something going here. The Americans keeping the pressure on them really off the tee. Zinger, they're just hitting some great drives and really keeping the pressure on GB&I to do the same.
Well, that's the thing when you get the tee and you start applying pressure, but now a chance to capitalize on a mistake. It's a pretty easy shot, not a lot of wind.
It's a 7-iron, pretty much at the middle of the green.
Go. Yeah, that's fine. That's a fast putt, though. So we'll see. That's just what he needed to do.
All right, so the morning foursomes. Again, a lot of red up there so far with the American leads. Hammer and Thompson trying to close out Fitzpatrick and Brown. Cummins and Eckroat back to 3 up. Hagestad, the 3-time Walker Cupper, in command at 1 up with William Mao at the moment. NBC Sports and the United States Golf Association are proud to present the 48th Walker Cup match with uninterrupted coverage presented by Rolex. Huge storm came through the area on Thursday night, but the sun was out yesterday for the opening flag raising ceremony as both sides came out. A great scene at Seminole Golf Club in the early evening last night. An even better scene with President George W. Bush on hand, and this Walker Cup named in honor of his great-grandfather, who got the competition going back in the early 1920s. So it was an emotional moment last night as both the Great Britain and Ireland flags were raised along with the United States. A good crowd was out there. So much Walker Cup history intertwined with this membership at Seminole. Stu Francis, Mike Davis of the USGA, a part of the opening ceremony last night as well. There's about 1,500 or so fans expected here on the weekend, Saturday and Sunday. Again, it's a 2-day competition. No better ball. It is foursomes, which is alternate shot in each morning, followed by singles in the afternoon. 8 singles matches following the 4 foursomes matches today. 10 singles matches with a cup on the line tomorrow. And since the United States won the cup overseas a couple of years ago, they need just 13 points to retain the cup. Great Britain and Ireland, the underdogs, needing 13.5 to win the cup. Joined by Paul Azinger here in the booth, along with our college and amateur golf expert Steve Burkowski. We've got Jim Bones Mackay on the ground along with Nota Begay, a Walker Cupper in his own right. He's down there with Kurt Byram. Steve Sands handling the interviews. Buddy Marucci, 2-time Walker Cup captain and player, and 7-time club champion here at Seminole Golf Club. Yeah, he knows the course just a little bit. Craig Winter of the United States Golf Association here handling any rules situations that may come up as we get you back out to Burko at the 13th.
Thank you, Dan. Quade Cummins, his second.
On the down slope after it came off that slope, but the only thing going for him is back into the wind here.
Ooh, that sounded good, but he didn't go far enough.
Went for the home run ball.
Well, he had to, though, really.
One of the few missteps we've seen from Cummins and Eckroat so far today. Drop back 1 to 12. Great Britain and Ireland already in with par. Matt Meisner this for birdie to win the hole, and one of the alternates for the Americans. And if you're just tuning in and haven't heard, over the last 72 hours, a stomach bug, a virus, has gone through both teams. 14 players have been impacted, both captains as well. A lot of guys spending time at the hotel, so some modifications by the USGA to allow alternates to enter the contest to replace somebody who's not feeling healthy, and also allowing that person under the weather, Dan, to come back in if needed. A lot of changes made, but I think the right decision, the right call.
Unique situation, first time ever. Alternates traveled. It worked out, didn't it? Because of COVID, they did that. And with a stomach bug,
United States of America,
both captains have gone to those alternates today in this opening session. And by the way, you know, these captains waiting for this week for years, and then all of a sudden, neither one of them was on the property yesterday, the day before the Walker Cup started, because they felt so bad.
Yeah, they all went to the emergency room to get rehydrated and IVs and the whole 9 yards. It's been a serious problem.
Anchor match at 10. William Mao getting ready to go. Playing alongside Stuart Hagestad. They're one up at the turn.
Yeah, really well thought out tee shot for Hagestad, as you would expect with mid-end experience.
I'm good with it. 55? Yeah. Flighted? Yeah, you're going to have to flight with that. 2 pumps? Yeah. Split them in half. Love it. Absolutely love it. 55 shot. I want a 155.
Laid back well off this tee in the center section, the widest part of the fairway. GB&I, Angus Flanagan, hit his tee shot into the water down the left side, so advantage USA here. Tough hole to get all the way to the back to, Burko. Just looks like it's sitting on the back edge of an infinity pool. Do not want to go long here. Look for this to come up just a bit short. You heard the caddy and player discuss that. I felt like the wind was helping just off the right, just a bit. Might have felt just a little shift and turned across. So just resetting, trying to get a good visual of what he wants to do. Fights it down, trying to skip it back to the hole.
Ooh, that's not a great leave. That's going to be a tough 2-putt.
Yeah, we just talked about how hard these lag putts are, and it's going to be a good 60-plus feet there.
Go up to 12. Mark Power, a couple of putts to pick up a win.
Is super quick, breaking huge to the right, probably close to 8 feet of break.
Really nicely done at 13, the par 3. So GB&I trying to chip away at that American lead. We go up to 14.
And Barkley Brown and Alex Fitzpatrick trying to stay in this one against Cole Hammer and Davis Thompson at the easy par 5. This for eagle for Brown.
Yeah, after 2 very poor wedge shots in here on this par 5, they have a chance here with a great lag putt to put a lot of heat on the U.S. guys.
Man, that is what you call a great lag putt. So that should be a conceded birdie for Great Britain and Ireland. And that brings us to our marquee matchup presented by Rolex. And if you were with us in the Peacock coverage, we talked about how both captains, Nathaniel Crosby and Stuart Wilson, wanted to go out sing with some firepower. And Cole Hammer and Davis Thompson were the duo that Crosby chose. And Alex Fitzpatrick, the younger brother of Matthew Fitzpatrick, European PGA Tour winner, teamed up there with Barkley Brown. Formidable guy in his own right at the Walker Cup. The only guy playing right now for GB&I with previous Walker Cup experience.
Well, and that makes a difference, too. But they're getting their tails handed to them right now by Cole Hammer and Davis Thompson. 2 thoroughbreds that are very polished in the amateur game. You can probably expect one day we'll see them out there on tour, I would imagine.
But GB&I here with a little hope. This is a birdie putt to tie the hole.
Full grind mode here for Davis. He hit a very poor wedge shot into the right green side bunker. Hammer played to this point, this now, to tie.
Okay, so
that is a gift and exactly what the GB&I duo needed in terms of turning a little bit of this ship around.
Yep, so now they're just 2 down.
2 up.
A little more doable with 4 to play. Uninterrupted coverage of the USGA Championships is presented by Rolex. Pure golf course, pure event, the Walker Cup, amateur golf. The history of this dating back to 1922. It's a competition that's nearly 100 years old. President George Bush on the grounds yesterday, last night, the opening ceremony. All the history here at Seminole really being seen on television for just the 2nd time. And there is a big rip at the 15th by Fitzpatrick.
Trying to take it over the fairway bunkers.
Oh, hit the palm. No, it missed it. Oh, that's perfect. It's rare, Bones, that you see the players choose to go up that left-hand side. It plays a lot longer going that way for sure.
Yeah, back-to-back par 5s here at Seminole.
These par 5s from short is pretty simple to get up and down.
And Bones will see what route Thompson takes.
He is trying to take it up the right, trying to hit the power fade and use the wind, but this is flirting with the last bunker.
That's absolutely ideal now.
He's in the HOV lane. Now, back to 10.
Stuart Hagestad, long birdie putt here, Noda.
Yeah, with the Great Britain and Ireland team in trouble off the tee, Mal took an awfully conservative approach here. Now has left his teammate Stuart Hagestad with an awfully sizable putt for his birdie. This is going to be tough just to get it inside that 3-foot circle. GB&I still has about a 10 or 12-foot look straight up the hill, so they have a good look to save par. So this is not a foregone conclusion that the Americans are going to win this hole.
Well, all day long it's been difficult for these guys in this alternate shot format to lag it up gimme from even from 20 to 30 feet, Noda. So this will be a heck of a challenge.
Especially this one. This has quite a bit of an uphill in it, so going to take some good touch here to measure out the distance. And as you would expect, just went by just a bit.
I want to welcome in Buddy Marucci, two-time Walker Cup captain and player for the Americans. And as these foursomes continue to unfold, Buddy, what's jumped out to you? What stood out, what we've seen here on a Saturday morning?
Well, I think if you're Nathaniel, you're feeling, I think you're feeling pretty nice right now, although that 14th hole in that first match was a little disconcerting. I mean, you have your aces out there, and, you know, to give that hole back, you really want to get that first point. I think if you're Stewart, you know, you're probably a little concerned about your players at this moment, because you don't want your players to get down this early in the competition. I will say, though, it looks like the nerves are starting to ease a little bit. This is the most nerve-wracking time in the match, the first foursomes match. Things seem to get a little better in the afternoon when they get to play their own ball and they're a little more comfortable. So to me, it seems pretty typical. These matches will ebb and flow. Right now, the United States is ahead, but, you know, it doesn't take many holes for things to turn around. So this is pretty routine what I'm seeing so far.
Nathaniel Crosby, the captain for the Americans. Stuart Wilson leading Great Britain and Ireland. William Mao is going to have this to try to make par here at 10.
And Buddy, the tough thing about this putt is it's uphill to start, but just about a half of it past the hole, it starts working back downhill. So these kids typically like to run these in with some pace, but still has to be cautious of the run out if just in case he misses it.
Well, that can happen here easily, and many of the greens at Seminole are that way, where they're crowned, and you're absolutely right. He has to be really careful here.
You said it, Paul. It wasn't going to be an easy two-putt from that front part of the green.
Well, you knew because of what we saw earlier, Steve, nobody could lag it up their gimme even from 20 feet.
United States 5. United States remains 1 up.
So GB&I maybe stealing one there. Tie that hole as we jump up to 13. Jack Dyer in match number 3. This will win the hole for Great Britain and Ireland.
This is a really big match for Great Britain and Ireland, I feel, Steve. They got to win this match.
Great Britain and Ireland 3.
1 up, 5 to go in match 3.
United States of America 4. Great Britain and Ireland.
Introduce your child to the game. The USGA is a co-founder and partner of Drive, Chip, and Putt, the free nationwide program focused on the 3 fundamental skills in golf: drive, chip, and putt. Register your child today at drivechipandputt.com.
And after the drives at the par 5 15th, it is Barkley Brown first to go for GB&I. Bones?
Yeah, 269 total, 242 front door. And because he's hitting an iron here, I assume he's going to try and run something on. This is ripped on a really nice looking line. If this can somehow carry the front bunker, no, it appears like it's going to finish there in the sand, but he had a long conversation with his partner Fitzpatrick, and I think that was the lead they were looking for in terms of their best ability to get the ball up and down for birdie.
Yeah, looking to cut into the lead again as you look at Barkley Brown, sophomore at Stanford, and in the spring had his first college win at the Wyoming Cowboy Classic. So he won the Cowboy Classic in a bucket hat, and he's here at the Walker Cup representing Great Britain and Ireland as Cole Hammer steps in with a second for the Americans.
And because they hit the better of the two drives, this is a good angle to run the ball up. This is lost to the right and will probably leak into the right greenside bunker, leaving a very difficult 40, 50-yard shot from the sand.
Yep, long bunker shot upcoming for his teammate, Davis Thompson. Well, we're well into the foursomes. Singles to follow. 8 singles matches a little bit later on. That brings us to our Rolex Championship recap. Great Britain and Ireland, the winner 2011. National Golf Links of America, where it all started, the Americans on top. And then we get into more recent Walker Cups. Great Britain and Ireland has been there in a number of them, but they got beaten down the stretch at LACC, and then just 2 years ago at Royal Liverpool, Nathaniel Crosby's guys came back after they faced a deficit in the final singles matches in the final session. So it was a big comeback for the win 2 years ago. And we've got the morning session again coming your way tomorrow on Peacock, and we'll join it again on Golf Channel just like we're doing today. Afternoon session, 4:30 Eastern time on Peacock, an hour on the Peacock before Golf Channel concludes the coverage each day, Saturday and Sunday. All right, at the par 5 14th. Pick up the match here, Kurt.
Dan, the Americans were in the back bunker. They were away. They played their bunker shot. Cummins hit what I thought was going to be okay bunker shot, but because of the slope in this green at 14, it rolled off the front of the green. And now they were looking at it to see who was away, and I think the Americans are still away down in front. GB and I are in the right bunker just past hole high, and not an easy shot from over there as well.
So the 4th shot here in this match, which the Americans have the 2-up lead, Cummins and Eckroat.
And this is not easy either. There's just not enough green to really work with. Plus you've got wind coming from behind. It makes it tough to stop close to the hole.
Sounded good.
Yeah, but that's all you could do, Kurt, is get it up above that hole, and now you can probably breathe on that next one and it'll reach.
That is for sure.
This is one of the most severe greens I've ever seen in my life, the slope from back to front.
Well, Great Britain and Ireland squads being dominated by English golfers. There are 2 non-English golfers, and they're playing together, both from Ireland. So it's an all-Irish pair here, Power and Murphy, trying to come back on the Americans.
Playing almost straight out into the middle of the green and then hoping the slope takes over. And it looks like it's going to. Very well thought out.
And Burko, as you know, as this one trickles a little closer, so many of these Great Britain and Ireland players playing college golf in the United States, so they're a big part of the scene here in the States even before they play in this international competition.
Sure is the case, Dan, that trend continuing. Go back to 2019, the Eastlake Cup. Mark Power on his way to winning. This was the 2nd shot at 17 for then the Wake Forest freshman. And then to finish it off in style, birdie on 18. From Kilkenny, Ireland to Winston-Salem, North Carolina. Mark Power, 5 under 67 to win the individual title. They were wearing pink shirts at the time in honor of the longtime women's coach Diane Daly, who was battling breast cancer. So a great win there, a powerful statement by the Demon Deacons just a couple of years ago.
He won the Irish Open Boys Championship in 16 and 17 as Cummins just trickles this down, burns the left edge.
Back-to-back holes won for GB and I. That happened on the front 9 at one point as well.
Yep, so Kurt, they're trying to do it in the first 2 matches.
United States of America, 6.
As we go to 15 and pick up the 3rd for GB and I, Bones.
Biggest shot of this match. The U.S. team has 20 feet for birdie. If Fitzpatrick can cozy something up there, these guys can get to within 1 potentially.
All right. They got a shot at it. So Fitzpatrick, who, if you're with us on the earlier coverage, has as much experience as anybody on either side. Talk about a guy that's been over here and to Seminole specifically, Zing, in the United States to figure out the intricacies of this golf course. All of these players have Seminole Golf Club caddies, so they've got great local knowledge in their ear through the 2 days.
And Stuart Wilson, the captain of the GBI team, said that most of his players have some experience here at Seminole. Fitzpatrick with the most by far, but it makes such a big difference to know this golf course. It is tricky. It's the shot value here is huge, and there's a right way and a wrong way to go around this property. There's no doubt about that. The local caddies have been enormous for the players that have never been here.
And buddy, you've been around this place numerous times. What do you tell in general as a thumbnail comment the first time player at Seminole? What kind of advice do you give them?
Well, I think the players need to be cautious when they play around here. It's a shot maker's golf course. You need to be conservatively aggressive, if that makes any sense. You can't be overly aggressive. You have to take what the golf course gives you, plot your way around, and I think you'll be rewarded. If you try to get overly aggressive, you're going to have difficulty, and we're seeing some of that today. The other most difficult part of the golf course, the green complexes, reading these greens is very, very difficult. And, you know, at these speeds, you must hit the ball with authority, and it's very difficult to do when you face this kind of speed.
So Hammer for birdie, and that one drifts by a little bit, so GB&I is going to have another opportunity here at the 15th to win another hole and cut into this lead.
It's back 9 par 5s. Suit the international team.
And Bones, you would know a little bit about how well a caddy can help his player, especially at a place like this.
Absolutely, Dan. I couldn't agree more with what you and guys and Buddy said. Cole Hammer has Adam Armagost on his bag as this putt rolls up to the cup. And Adam Armagost, Cole Hammer's caddy, is a legend in this state in terms of amateur golf. He was a dominating junior player back in the 80s, and he's currently, now in his 50s, the Florida State senior amateur champion. Just a wonderful guy, and nobody knows this golf course better.
Okay, the miss there, but they still have a chance if the Americans aren't able to make this comebacker.
You got the right guy with the putter in his hand. Davis Thompson has made all the clutch putts in this match.
You get the feeling that this Davis Thompson has one of those Bjorn Borg heart rates. I mean, nothing really seems to faze him. He looks very comfortable out here. Certainly, as you guys have mentioned, he's played on some big stages prior to this, Walker Cup.
Yeah, you earned a spot, Bones, in the U.S. Open by being in the top 7 in the World Amateur Golf Rankings back in August when they changed the criteria for getting into that championship and started off with a first round 69, which was pretty historic.
And a lot of the UGA players that play on the PGA Tour currently have a lot of things to say about this guy in terms of his potential. But man, that was a very quick transition, and things just got really interesting out here in match number 1.
Match play at Seminole. What a great combination. And Hammer and Thompson feeling it right now after being 3 up. All of a sudden, they've lost 2 in a row, and they're now just 1 up. We mentioned the U.S. Open. And there's Davis and his dad at Wingfoot. His dad played at Georgia in the mid-'80s, caddied for his son at the U.S. Open. And how historic was that opening round, Burko?
69 by Davis Thompson, tied the lowest score ever shot by an amateur at Wingfoot in the U.S. Open. Bobby Jones and Jay Sigel also shooting 69 there.
Pretty good company. Jay Sigel, by the way, one of the greatest Walker Cup players in history. So we go back to 15. Eckroat and Cummins working on a 1-up lead over Powell and Murphy.
Yeah, GBI in good shape left to the bunkers. This is headed right.
Oh,
wow. Another opening here for GBI.
So suddenly things swinging GB&I's way a little bit to 16.
In a couple of those matches, as we take a look at the par 4 16th, Barkley Brown getting ready to go.
Okay, big moment. Wins on 14 and 15 to tighten this match up. Got to hit the fairway here and keep that momentum going.
Very good. Going Barkley.
Very flighted long iron. You can hear Alex in the background. He loves it, and it is perfect.
Great Britain and Ireland trying to make a late morning charge here in the foursomes matches. See what Cole Hammer can do also going with iron.
So much juice in this match. You can feel the heat that these players are playing under. These 4 or 5 footers we see Davis miss one on the previous green are going to get really tough as we get later in the day. Even tougher than they are now. This is another good shot.
That's what you're supposed to do when the momentum's gone the other way. Just kind of cover up your opponent. Whatever he hits, you do the same. This 16th hole, they've made some change. A chance to hit it close to the flagstick here.
All right, let's check in with the anchor match at the 11th, where William Mao has this for birdie. Nota?
Yeah, downhill, down grain. Just going to be a little bit right to left.
And that trickles out a good 2.5, 3 feet by. Back to 15. The par 5, Quade Cummins with the third.
They determined that the ball did not cross the line on the other side, so he is behind the water back there trying to get 3-wood just up in front of the green somewhere.
All he could do. Back at 11, Jake Bolton for birdie to win the hole for Great Britain and Ireland.
Definitely not going to find an easier putt out here today. A little uphill, a little right to left. Speed not an issue. Can really just commit to his line and hit it.
So more momentum for GB&I as Flanagan and Bolton tie it up through 11 on Flanagan or on Hagestad and Mao in that final match.
Yeah, we're seeing the ebb and flow that Buddy Marucci alluded to. It's part of the match every year, it seems like.
Back to 15, Mark Powers second.
Got a 3-wood out, 242 to the front, 269 hole, and obvious advantage here for GBI, trying to keep that momentum going. Slipping a little right on him.
That's really headed right. Slipping into the bunker, but again, they lie 2 there. GB&I lies 3, well short of the green. And back up to 16.
First match, Fitzpatrick getting ready to go for his second, Bones.
And if I'm GBI here, Steve, I love the fact that we got outdriven off the tee. They've got all the momentum in terms of winning the last 2 holes. Certainly they're still 1 down in the match, but they have a chance here to put a lot of heat on the Americans if they can stiff it from 151.
And this is the guy, if you're Captain Stuart Wilson for Great Britain and Ireland, you put out first for a reason. He's got Walker Cup experience. He embraces the challenge. And it is that ability, Paul, to set a tone for the rest of the guys to see what he's doing, to say, all right, let's pick up our games as well.
He's got a real energetic personality, too. If he could win this match and go out there and encourage his teammates.
Got to flag this one down. Tough club to pull. Little left of it.
Yeah, the divot way left on that one. He didn't get it all.
And back at the par 5 14th, Jack Dyer from short range for birdie to tie the hole with Meisner and Castillo.
Whoa, seen some short putts missed here. Greens are like pool tables, but they are tricky. They're hard to read and intimidatingly fast.
It was that crucial match that you were talking about. Zing is now tied with 4 to play.
And what's so unbelievably tough here from 136 is, sure, you want to get the club right, but if you take this shot long, you've got an incredibly tough first putt that's so quick. And if you come up just a little bit short, you can spin it back off the green. This way up in the wind, but looks really good for line.
Let's stay there. That was Davis Thompson, his second at 16, and just like that, hold on now. Oh my.
And that is Seminole right here. One of the toughest golf courses I've ever seen in terms of pulling clubs.
It's just a typical Donald Ross where the greens are all look like upside down bowls and everything falls off all around them.
Morning foursomes continue at the 48th Walker Cup. The Americans one up in those first 2 matches. The other 2 all tied. Great Britain and Ireland making a late charge on a Saturday morning at Seminole, as it's time now for a message from the USGA.
The nerves on that tee, there's nothing that I've experienced to compare to it.
The most nerve-wracking I've ever experienced on a golf course.
I felt very calm and comfortable and ready, had a great warm-up and walked onto the tee. And when my name was announced, my legs suddenly went to jelly.
When they announce your name, I mean, the heart starts beating, and it's a nervous moment.
Representing the United States of America on the tee, Jack Nicklaus.
There must have been 5,000 people, but it felt like it was 100,000 people. I hit the first tee shot for the entire competition, and we were just standing there, and I mean, I'm just building up this energy, and I smoked the drive down the middle.
I hit one out of bounds.
Thankfully, I hit it down the middle.
Luckily, I was out an alternate shot, and I didn't have to hit the first tee shot.
My partner teed off, so I was nervous, but I just got to watch, so I just got to go up and hit a chip shot.
It is a pressure-packed week for these young men, but the most nervous moment, that opening tee shot, that continued at Seminole earlier today, and bring back in Buddy Marucci as we watched that opening match at 16. And what was it like for you, Buddy, as a player and as a captain as we watched Barkley Brown's third?
Well, I had the opportunity to hit that first shot, and I can tell you, I don't think I've ever been that nervous in my life, as many of these players have said. And as a captain, I was equally as nervous for my players. So, but, you know, I think it's evidenced by what Stewart said today. He's played 3 times and told me this morning on the range that he couldn't feel his legs, and he was really looking forward to getting to the second or third holes to walk a little bit. He was so nervous. If you haven't done it, it's hard to explain. It's just a wonderful feeling, but it's nerve-wracking.
Hammer's third at 16.
Trying to skip something back there. You could hear him right away say something that leads you to believe he didn't like the contact.
This is a par attempt for Quade Cummins, and GB&I still has a birdie attempt left, so
a fairly long birdie attempt for GBI, a pretty conservative bunker shot out of them, but the Americans need this putt if they're going to have a chance to tie this hole.
And this appears to be very close to being a tied match with 3 to play. And another reminder on this gorgeous Saturday at Seminole that uninterrupted coverage of the 48th Walker Cup is presented by Rolex. One of the great features of these amateur events. No ropes. The crowd's able to get an up-close look at Seminole Golf Club. Get right up close to the action. And Great Britain and Ireland here with another opportunity here to kind of turn this momentum late in Foursomes play.
Amazing, the momentum shift in this match, and a chance to win the 3rd hole in a row. Just 2 putts to win this hole.
Well, that ought to get it done, Kurt.
Sure will.
So we're seeing in these first 2 matches, we're seeing a 3-down turnaround, now just 1 down at the 16th in the first match. This was a 3-down turnaround, as Kurt mentioned, just a few holes ago, and now they're tied.
Yeah, incredible. And momentum is like the wind. You can feel it, but you can't see it. That's what's going on out here right now.
16.
Fitzpatrick first to go for par.
This kid's got moxie. He loves these situations.
Oh, look at that.
Big fist pump from the young man.
And this is why he's out first. He's emotional, flamboyant, just a charismatic personality all the way around.
A little bit earlier this spring, Alex Fitzpatrick winning the 2021 Valspar Collegiate, a 3-shot victory. He's been a standout in college golf, a fixture on this Walker Cup team, and that reaction, you don't think this means something? How about Alex Fitzpatrick? Getting Great Britain and Ireland right back in the mix. The pressure squarely on Davis Thompson.
And he did get a read from Fitzpatrick's putt. Wow, match play, fellas. This is tremendous.
That's 3 misses in a row for Davis Thompson after 3 great makes in a row.
And that's 3 straight wins for Great Britain and Ireland in that opening match.
These first 2 matches have been, as they say in match play, jargon flipped.
Yeah.
Zing, you've seen it happen in Ryder Cups. as a player and a captain, and you know what it does to a team's feelings and the momentum that kind of starts getting around the golf course. And let's face it, Great Britain and Ireland, huge underdogs to this American side. And if they were going to have a chance here, this is the format, the foursomes, where they feel most comfortable.
Absolutely. Absolutely, Dan. And yeah, this is a big momentum flip. All the guys on GBI are looking at the boards out here, and they're going to see that this match is all square. I mean, both teams send out their best players first. And so this is huge.
This 17th hole is huge, too, with that new tee.
It's so nice to get a match to 17 right out of the gate.
It's actually playing a yard more than what it says on the board there, 198. It's just a tough hole. And coming at this match at a great moment with it all tied up.
A lot of left to right wind at the moment. Looking to fly something about 185 in the air.
Oh, please.
Hang on.
Yep, we're not done yet. Yep.
It seems a little harsh, but they know it before they hit. If it's on the right half of the green, it's going to roll off.
Okay, so Davis Thompson now with the tee shot for the U.S.
Just have to be left of the flagstick. Anything, even up on that hill up there to the left of the green, kicks down to the right.
Just got to get it. You see the trees on 18. Yeah, we need it. Yeah.
The one thing about landing it on the left half of the green is that little voice inside your head is going to remind you that if you pull it just a little bit and it gets in the left-hand greenside bunkers, you have virtually no chance to get the ball up and down given the speed of the green and the fact that that shot's downhill.
Well, I think this is what Marucci was talking about earlier. You have to be aggressive to a conservative line. So make a good aggressive swing. Now the pressure's on Davis right here because he's missed the last 3 putts.
This is a good-looking line.
Oh, yes. That's coming to the plate.
That is stepping up.
Yep.
And that's advantage for the Americans on the green with GB&I. And he's cheering on the guys for GB&I, Mark Power and John Murphy. Over at the 12th, Burko.
That's Angus Flanagan for GB&I. That was for birdie to win the hole.
4, United States 4, match remains tied.
Well, we have a moment. Let's go down to Steve Sands.
Steve Burkowski, a very familiar face and voice. Gary Coca, colleague here on NBC and Golf Channel's golf coverage. You played in this event, Gary, back in 1973 and 1975. How great is this for amateur golf?
Well, Steve, it's the epitome. It really is. You know, clearly one of the only opportunities to represent your country in the sport that you absolutely love. My second Walker Cup team, I actually stayed amateur for 9 months. Could have turned pro, could have tried to go to a qualifying school for the PGA Tour, decided not to, simply because I knew I was going to make the next Walker Cup team that was going to play at the old course at St. Andrews, and I didn't want to miss that opportunity.
You talked about the old course. Here we are at Seminole. This is hallowed ground in the sport of golf. How important is it for the Walker Cup to be played at venues like the old course and Seminole?
Well, I think that just adds to the impressiveness of the event, no question about it. It provides a lot of these young men an opportunity to experience some of the greatest golf courses in the world and prestige. I mean, you come to a place like Seminole and you get an opportunity to play here, experience this golf course, meet some of the members. It's something they will remember forever.
We usually don't see you in a social setting. It's nice to be with you, Gary.
Well, thank you, Steve. It's kind of nice to be out here in a casual mode. And actually, I think I may go get a beer here pretty soon.
How about that? Gary,
oh,
going to serve one up. We appreciate that, Gary. Thanks for the time.
All right, you got it, Steve.
That's one of the great things, Steve, as Gary's come back. A lot of the Walker Cup players come back to this event. They come back to as many events as they can. And there was that formidable squad that Gary was a part of back in 1975. Joined by his good friend, Vinnie Giles, who also serves as his agent, Jay Haas, Jerry Pate, Craig Stadler, Curtis Strange. Pretty good group there, Zing.
Pretty impressive.
Of course.
Yep.
Now, this was a moment ago. Barkley Brown from that bunker at the 17th in this pivotal match here to open it up.
It's a little into the breeze. He had that going for him and up the hill, so a little check on that.
So now we're live. Cole Hammer, a chance to win the hole on this gorgeous par 3 that runs right hard along the ocean just to the left.
Yeah, that's a rocky beach, a rocky kind of shoreline down there. It's pretty cool. Rustic here in this region of the state.
And you talk about, you know, polished amateurs. You know, Davis Thompson, we talked a little bit about him. Cole Hammer is about as polished as it gets. This guy for years looks like he's a professional, looks like he's ready for the next level, Zing.
Yeah, he's had chances in the amateur championship. He had a chance when he was 16 years old or 17 years old to win the USAM. Yeah, he's just one of those guys that, for whatever reason, that intangible, whatever it takes, you know, these young players now get so much more information than we got, and I think it's almost harder in some respects.
Yeah, he qualified for the 2015 U.S. Open at the age of 15.
Yeah.
Remember that at Chambers Bay, the U.S. Open that Jordan Spieth won? He's a former #1 player in the World Amateur Golf Rankings, so he has been at the top. And he's another one of those guys, as his PGA Tour career develops, I got to keep an eye on for sure.
Very flat, breaking a couple of feet to his right.
Okay, should be a conceded par and force GB&I to make its par attempt to tie the hole. 21-year-old Cole Hammer, junior at Texas. And there is a list of the Mark McCormick Medal, which is given out to the #1 player and reached the World Amateur Golf Rankings. Some of the other players who've been a part of it: John Rahm, Maverick McNeely, Joaquin Neiman, Matthew Fitzpatrick, who's the older brother of this guy, Alex, trying to make this putt to tie the hole. Oh, thought he had it.
He went for the fist pump just a little early. My goodness.
Looked like it was going to be another one. That is a big exchange at 17, so Hammer and Thompson go to the last one up.
That was a rude horseshoe as he was walking it in, taking the step. Oh my goodness. That's about as bad as a lip out as you can get right there. And at a bad time.
Yep. Now they head to one of those holes where anything can happen. The tough par 4 18th. And this is Mac Meisner over at the 15th for birdie to win the hole. He and Castillo taking the one-up lead over Jack Dyer and Matty Lamb. So the Americans back up on top in that one. Well, celebrating its 30th anniversary, the USGA's PJ Boat Ride program providing leadership and on-the-job opportunities to more than 100 individuals from all backgrounds through paid internships at top golf associations each year. To learn more about it, visit usga.org/boatright. Okay, back to that opening match. There's a look at the hole location. Again, hard by the ocean, Zing.
Yeah, almost impossible to get close here. The tee shot, generally pretty fair, pretty friendly tee shot, but you have to be careful. You have a forced carry if you go up the left side, which makes the whole play shorter. The left to right wind doesn't help their cause any here either.
And with driver in hand, he's going to have to take it up the left side. Very aggressive play here.
Right at that white tent, just right of it.
Seems like he likes it.
Watch out.
Oh.
Oh. Yep, big difference being on the short grass there, and that is going to be fairway there.
What a spot for this young man. Not as experienced as the other guys in this group, but has stepped up on occasion today.
Stay out of that. Stay out of that.
Added a little right as well.
Uh-oh.
That looks like that dipped into the bunker.
That is a bad result right there. Advantage Americans.
Meanwhile, back at 16.
Austin Eckroat.
GB and I already in for par. Good putt there. That was a good 4-footer you had to make.
They needed it, Kurt.
They did.
Great Britain and Ireland 4, United States
So
of
that
America
match
4.
remains all tied after Great Britain and Ireland won 13, 14, and 15. Now at 13, the par 3, second for Hagestad.
GBI already on the green with a birdie. Look, this is a tough shot. Oh, gosh.
Sorry, Mel.
Well, that grass is tight and into the grain, and Stewart tried to hit some kind of little trick shot there and got burned by it.
Taking a look at the morning foursomes. Hammer and Thompson one up playing the last. Meisner and Castillo one up 3 to go. The other two tied up, and about 45 minutes ago, guys, it looked like the Americans might win 3.5 points, and might not be the case here in about an hour from now. Now Mao, his third.
Things not getting much easier for the United States here.
He's got to cut the legs out of that one, and he does. But, oh boy, yeah, they're going to give him this hole. It's nice to get a gift if you're playing match play alternate shot, and that's what they're getting.
Take it if you can get it.
Yep, absolutely.
Second match has arrived at the challenging par 3 17th. This is John Murphy, a part of the Irish duo here that is tied up with Quade Cummins and Austin Eckroat. Another part of this early foursome match play that has turned around.
He starts this at the left side of the green. If the wind gets it at all, it should be good.
Yep, that's a fine shot from back there.
Well, we mentioned how many of these guys play golf here in the United States. So John Murphy playing for Louisville and a part of the Bearcat Invitational leaderboard there on top, along with his teammate there, Matthias Schmidt. And then another win at the Dorado Beach Collegiate, holding the ever popular trophy surfboard. Zing, I know you've got a lot of good-looking trophies, but I guarantee you don't have a surfboard.
You're right about that. You're right about it. But I have surfed before.
Okay.
I can get up on the board anyway. Yeah, well, now the pressure's really on here as this match is all square.
It's amazing how in match play that momentum is such a big thing, and GB&I has it right now. Eckroat needs to hit a quality shot here. It appears to be an 8-iron as well. This starts more at the pin, but it's cutting, and this could very well miss right. I think it's going to miss right.
Yep, down into the bunker.
It's a hard shot. It rolls off far enough. He's maybe slight downslope there, level at best.
All right, making our way over to the 18th. It's going to be Fitzpatrick to play first for Great Britain and Ireland. One down to Cole Hammer and Davis Thompson, who won that 17th.
172 uphill, playing all of 180. A great lie in these fairways bunkers that have just the right amount of sand in them. You got to be careful here about a short right miss and long right. Long right, if your ball has any kind of momentum, it can release all the way off the green, some 30 or 40 yards.
If he gets this on the green, he's going to be thrilled.
Well, it sounded clean. It's on a very good line, just right of the flag as we look at it.
What a shot.
That's the shot of the day. Wow.
With the pressure on Zing, one down from the bunker.
Wow, what a shot.
The fiery Fitzpatrick delivers, you know, and if you talk to him, I mean, we know Matthew Fitzpatrick because we had a chance to talk to him, you know, in his days on the PGA Tour and the European Tour. Those guys are opposite personalities.
No
Alex
question.
is really fired up, and he's got a real gregarious kind of personality. And Matthew's just a little more low-key, to say the least.
I actually got a chance to ask Alex. I said, where's Matthew? I don't see him out here in the crowd. He says, he's hitting balls. I said, hitting balls? He's right here playing the Walker Cup. Well, he said, you do know Big Brother likes to practice a lot. I said, you got to be kidding me.
You would know, Bones. You've been on the bag of Matthew Fitzpatrick. How meticulous he is.
Bones, yeah. I thought Davis Thompson was going to get to play from the fairway, but it's not the case, is it?
There's a little bit of guesswork in this lie here, Paul. It doesn't look to be a heater, if you will, but it does look like there's going to be some kind of, you know, guessing, if you will, in terms of how it comes out of here in terms of high, low, how much it's going to grip the face. I don't think it's going to jump, but it could be a little squirrely.
Well, again, from back here, anything on this green, it's a pretty big target, but it's so severe if you miss.
You know your opponent's just hit a clutch bunker shot up there on the green.
Can't be much more than a 9-iron up that hill, I would think.
145, playing 52 with the uphill.
Well, he's just got to answer, Bones. A great shot by Fitzpatrick.
Right of the flag. See if it's the right club.
Yep.
And remember, a tie on this hole will give the Americans the win. So GB&I has to figure out a way to win this hole, drain that putt, and hope.
Just a moment ago at 13, the fourth shot for the Americans. Stuart Hagestad from the bunker.
It's good.
Still haven't gotten it on the green yet. So Flanagan and Bolton will take the one-up lead.
And back at 17 from that bunker on the right.
Good lie, but a risky. The right edge of that green falls away.
Cummins didn't get it up there.
He took a risk.
These are hard bunkers, I tell you. The sand is such a texture. It's hard to clip it, and the greens are so fast that you're just never comfortable in the sand around here.
Back to 16.
Meisner for birdie to win the hole for the Americans. GB&I still has a par putt upcoming.
And trying it again is Eckroat from the bunker.
Yeah, I mean, you know, that's about as good as you can do from down there, Paul. And it was a real mistake by Cummins the first time around.
Back to 16.
I said GB&I had a par putt remaining. See if Jack Dyer can roll it in, tie the hole, remain one down. He does just that. So match 3, they're hanging in it.
And Great Britain and Ireland trying to hang in this opening match. Both teams on in 2, but the U.S. has the one-up lead.
It's going to be very interesting to see these putts here, and that certainly with Cole Hammer, who has a chance to make this putt, even though it's some 35 feet. Both putts are straight up the hill, into the grain, into the wind. So after playing 17 holes, being very defensive on the greens at times, you can absolutely be aggressive here. It's those full shoulder turn putts.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's a nervy situation, though, Bones, and up the hill like that, you can almost imagine that Cole Hammer will lag this up there short with a one-up lead.
I do think he's in a position here, Paul, that he can putt aggressively, because this is a putt where it's virtually impossible for it to get away from you in terms of speed. So he can shut the door if he wants and give this one a rip.
Well, he'll try to make it, there's no doubt, but he wants to make the GBI team make birdie to beat you. And that's what they have to do. Of course, if Cole can make this putt, it's over. And I know that's in the back of his mind, but he also wants to just cozy it. So the challenge is going to be to hit it hard enough with this kind of pressure.
And let's once again tip our hats to both of those second shots. They were very, very good, especially Fitzpatrick's. Barkley Brown has a great look from some 15 feet. He just hopes at this point he gets a chance to hit it.
Yep, again, the Americans built a 3-up lead, lost it all. GB&I had one lead. It was just one up through 9 holes in this match, which has been dominated by the U.S. squad trying to win it here. And Hammer with a final blow for the U.S. at the 18th.
Game, set, match right there. Wow, what a finish.
That was an aggressive putt. But as Bones described, uphill into the grain, and Cole Hammer puts the first point on the board in this Walker Cup.
That is really impressive. You couldn't have wow, you couldn't have scripted any better than that for Cole Hammer. What a great way to finish. You couldn't have blamed him for lagging it up there close either. But he didn't do that, Bones. You were right. And what a putt, what a finish. Huge win for the American team there.
Yep, and Nathaniel Crosby gets the point he wanted desperately, that opening match with a pair that have had a good resume, and Cole Hammer with Walker Cup experience as well.
Yep, he could have just cozied it up there, but that was the last thing on his head. Wow.
Well, just like the hat says, a W for Thompson and Hammer.
This is the kind of putt you'll draw on the rest of your life.
21-year-old Cole Hammer, who just won the Big 12 Conference Championship by a shot over his Walker Cup teammate Quade Cummins. He and his teammate Davis Thompson deliver the first point. In the meantime, back at 17, the par 3.
Very similar to that putt they had in 13. Just ride the ridge, settle it in there, and win the hole and move on.
And that's what he's doing, Kurt. That's textbook right there. A little lag for Great Britain and Ireland. And they have their very first lead of the match, Zing. It comes at the 17th one up. So GB and I wasn't able to pull off that first win, but they did turn it around, which kind of gave them some confidence. And who knows if Power and Murphy can power their way to a win here in the second one. As we send you back down to Steve Sands.
All right, Dan, thank you. The Americans with a point on the board. Cole, how do you deal? You're 3 up in the match at one point, and then it goes back down to even. Then you make the huge putt here. How do you deal with the ebbs and flows of match play like this?
It was a wild match. We tied 1 and 2, and we didn't tie a hole after that, I don't think. It was a lot of up and downs, and we just kind of had to stay in there and try to do our thing. And we won 4 in a row from 10 through 13 and felt pretty comfortable. And then all of a sudden, Alex made a bunch of good putts in a row, and we were all square. And then it got to 17. Davis hit an unreal shot onto the green. It's one of the hardest greens to hit in the world, and made a good par there. And then coming up here, Alex hit another great shot, and I was just lucky enough to be able to roll in that putt.
Davis, unlike Cole, you have never played in a Walker Cup. How would you describe what the pressure is like here this morning?
Yeah, there were definitely some nerves on the first tee, but I just tried to commit to a small target and hit a good shot. And it was pretty cool playing with Cole today. And obviously this is just the pinnacle of amateur golf, and I'm just lucky to be here.
Congratulations on winning the first point in this Walker Cup.
Thank you.
Dan, let's go back up to you.
All right. So Hammer and Thompson hang on, put the first point on the board in the 48th Walker Cup match. As we remind you that golf is stronger when we do work together. The USGA has been serving the game since 1984, and by becoming a USGA member, you can help us continue champion and advance the game for decades to come. So many of the former Walker Cup players and captains here at this 48th edition. As we get you back out to 17, where Bones has joined this group. Matty Lamb and Jack Dyer, 1 down to Meisner and Castillo.
Playing from the short right bunker, very tough shot, not much green to work with. This is a fantastic shot, my goodness.
Should be a conceded 3 for GB and I. And Matty Lamb, one of his biggest wins, North of England Amateur Champion last year, proudly holding the trophy there. And back at 17, Meisner does have this lengthy birdie putt to win the match, Bones.
He does. Left to right wind cranking here into his back. He'll have to add a lot more in terms of break. Moving to his right.
Yep, you don't want to get too frisky with that. You lose the hole with a bogey.
Looks a little bit like Steve Pate.
I wouldn't say hurt.
A little Steve Pate look on there.
Yeah, I think it's just straight off the back.
Up at 18.
Yep.
We got Murphy ready to go here.
He's got 146 yards to the hole. Up that hill, plays a couple yards up the hill from here. That wind is helping from the left. He could put a lot of pressure on the Americans here by hitting a quality shot.
Again, the Americans were 3 up in this match. Now 1 down to Power and Murphy.
Stay up.
Is that going to stay?
It stayed. I think it stayed. Yep.
Just barely. Get up there and mark it, Team Ireland. Another reminder, uninterrupted coverage of this 48th Walker Cup match is presented by Rolex. All Irish team there of Murphy and Power trying to hang on here against Cummins and Eckroat.
Do you think probably for the whole 10.2? A little more. 0.5? Yeah. Okay. You like this stuff to hang? Yeah. It won't spin back. No. Like drive it in and draw it in. Yeah. Yeah.
got 116 yards to the hole. That palm tree, I don't believe is any kind of problem. Definitely, maybe his head a little bit, but no problem on the backswing. Trying to drive one in there. Just right of it.
Yeah, it's on that side where it could trickle.
And not a very good shot. He needs to do better than that. That's going to be a tough one now. One down.
Yep, got to win the hole. The Americans do to get the tie. Back at 14, Jake Bolton for birdie to win the hole. Nota?
American side already in with a par 5. This for 4 here. Ticklish little putt right to left. Just got to barely touch it, and it'll swing hard to his left.
This has been a tight match throughout, but right here, Bolton with a great opportunity to get the 2-up lead, and that is right in the middle for Jake Bolton. Another one of those alternates forced into play in this opening session, and he and Flanagan are getting it done against Hagestad and Mao in that anchor match. And Castillo at the 17th for par to tie the hole. Wasn't quite close enough to get the concession there, so ties the hole. And Castillo and Meisner in good shape, 1 up with 1 to play. Phil Mickelson Award winners. We're talking about the outstanding freshman in the country. Castillo of Florida earning that honor as the outstanding freshman. Had an incredible start to his college career. And joining the rest of those guys is a pretty good list.
That's a strong list of players.
Cole Hammer, who's playing in this Walker Cup. Part of that list, Matthew Wolff. Finished runner-up in the U.S. Open last fall. Scotty Scheffler, PGA Tour Rookie of the Year. Justin Thomas. And right next to the beautiful clubhouse here at Seminole, the 18th. Fabulous setting here. First ever Walker Cup match being staged in this state. Again, the first time in the month of May in the United States. Weather is just perfect. You've got that 15-mile-an-hour breeze off the ocean zing.
Yep, it's just ideal conditions on an iconic golf course, and it's been good stuff so far. You know, when we got here, everybody said it's going to be a blowout on paper. The Americans were huge favorites. And then after watching these guys practice the last couple days, Dan, I didn't see a single pushover on the GBI team.
It is pretty amazing.
They're good.
When you look at this match on paper, you got 2 All-America players on 2 of the best teams in college golf, and GB&I is about to take them down right here. More than likely, 2 putts will do it. Probably the slowest uphill putt he's had today right here.
He gave it a ride.
Oh boy.
Ooh.
Just wanted to lag it up gimme, and he missed it by about 10 inches of being gimme. So he'll have that knee knocker no matter what.
Pressure back butt coming back with GB&I. Which is coming off their first lead of the entire day. And so now this to tie the match for the Americans.
You know, one of the hardest things to do, Kurt, is hit a putt that you have to make the right speed. Tiger was the best I've ever seen at it. And that's the key here.
And, you know, oddly enough, it doesn't feel like they've had many uphill putts that they could go ahead and hit today. So this is kind of the first one that they've really had from this range.
This is Quade Cummins with a chance. His teammate Cole Hammer on the previous group made one here to win it. And that should be close enough for a 4. And it is. And so it has come down to Great Britain and Ireland to see if they can win it. Or the Americans could come out of here with a tie. While we have a moment, we'll remind you that the heavy hitters of the PGA Tour, where a lot of these guys hope to play someday, take aim at Quail Hollow. Rory McIlroy had a good showing the first couple of days in the hunt there at the Wells Fargo Championship. Coming up next on Golf Channel. So now John Murphy to win the point for Great Britain and Ireland. So they take their first lead of the entire match at the 17th, finish it off by tying the 18th hole to put their first point on the board for Captain Stuart Wilson.
And they were 4 down through 10 holes and came back and won the match. Incredible.
So Steve Sands awaits the latest winning GB&I team here. And tell you what, there's a lot for Great Britain and Ireland here to be proud of, Zing. They didn't win the first match, but they came back big time on Hammer and Thompson, who won just one up, and Cummins and Eckroat squander that 3-up lead and lose it. So this has to give Stuart Wilson and his side loads of confidence. So we've got a point on the board each, with the final 2 foursomes matches to open up this session of the 48th Walker Cup to be decided. Flanagan and Bolton got a 2-up lead there, so this could be a great start for Great Britain and Ireland, the heavy underdogs. And we check in with Dyer and Lamb, Meisner and Castillo match. The Americans with a 1-up lead as they hit the 18.
137.
Yeah.
Just checking things out with his caddy. And as we saw in match number 1, in a perfect world, you'd love to leave this second shot just a little right of your flag. Give yourself that uphill putt.
Yeah, we were talking about the underdog Great Britain and Ireland team. Dyer is only 190th in the World Amateur Golf Rankings. It's the worst rank of any player on either team. But here he is with a chance.
It's a great opportunity for him to hit a clutch shot on a very tough hole. Up the hill from 137 in a left to right wind.
Chippy 9-iron. This is tugged up the left edge of the green. This needs to get down.
Oh, no. Oh.
Seemed like a lot of club, given how much adrenaline he must have running through him at the moment.
What's that third shot like, Zing?
That ball looks heavy in the sand, and I don't think he has any chance of getting that within 15 feet, to be honest, unless he hits the stick. Barely gets it out. I mean, it would take a miracle.
Yep, so that's a big miss for GB&I. So the Americans with that 1-up lead looking very solid here, as long as Castillo can hit a solid shot up the hill.
Terrific lie from 128. Super line.
He's walking it up, Bones. And it is gorgeous.
So clutch. That's coming through in a pinch right there.
And he knows it, that pretty much, barring a miracle, makes it a done deal. While we have a moment, we send you back down to Steve Sands.
All right, Dan, thank you. John and Mark, well played. You didn't take a lead until 17. You were 3 down twice, at one point on the 5th and then also on the 12th. So how were you guys able to come back, John?
I think I said to Mark both times, I just said that, you know, we're playing great. We just have to stick to what we're doing. We got a couple of bad breaks early on, but let's not try force anything. We're playing great. Let's, you know, this is a golf course of mistakes, so let's allow them make the mistakes. And I think we stuck to our game plan really well and stayed patient. And yeah, proud of Mark here.
2 Irishmen, Mark, on the team. It's you two. You got to play together this morning. How special is something like that?
Yeah, it's amazing. Like we played home internationals tournament in Ireland against, you know, different countries, Great Britain and Ireland countries, and we were just talking about it this week. Like we played together when we were 15 and 16, 5-6 years ago now, and just on the first tee we were like, we're just going to enjoy today because look how far we've come, and why not just shy away from the challenge and just embrace it. And God, we stuck to it today. And I mean, the old head in the group, he calmed me down and just said, look, just hit the fairway, stick greens, and we'll wear these guys down. And it's what we did.
It's such a fun format. You guys played brilliantly. 1 point for the GB&I team. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Let's go back out to the action.
All right, 1-1, Steve, with the remaining 2 matches to be decided. Very good start for Great Britain and Ireland.
Yeah, way to go for those 2 guys. I had them 4 down through 10, but they were only 3 down either way. What a comeback in that match. And that sends a message to these other guys.
All right, this is
the last group. This is
miracle
almost,
bunker shot thing that they've got to have here practically.
I would say just you got to hit the stick here, and it's got to go in.
Going for the hole out. Matty Lamb.
That's pretty good shot.
Yep.
But it was all he could do.
Considered.
Yep.
So they're still away, line 3. And the Americans again, one up in this match, tight in there, looking over a birdie putt.
I think if we were playing on greens that were stimping at about 9, you might see a concession here. But as we've talked about all morning, you've got to go through the motions here. These guys got to grind out this putt here and hope that something crazy goes with the American birdie putt.
So it's back to Jack Dyer for par. He's the guy that replaced Sandy Scott, the best player coming into this Walker Cup match on Great Britain and Ireland's side. Scott forced to withdraw from the competition because of a wrist injury. And Jack Dyer got the call and then got right into the opening session here. Again, there's a lot of players, including Joe Long, the reigning amateur champion from Great Britain and Ireland, who was taken down by this stomach bug. John Pack, the impressive player for the United States, who was the low amateur at last year's U.S. Open, out because of that stomach bug. So we're going to see how this virus that has been going around continues to affect the teams, and beginning with the singles matches coming up in the afternoon here.
Yeah, both teams have dealt with it, and I'm sure fatigue will be a factor this afternoon.
Pretty much a must make.
Yeah, we should see hats off right about now.
And that is it, Bones. And the second point of the day goes the Americans, leading 2-1 now with one match left. Meisner and Castillo got a run from Dyer and Lamb, but able to hold on. So Mac Meisner, another one of those alternates again with a stomach bug, which has been ravaging both teams, who was forced into duty, part of a winning side there. So now it's Angus Flanagan and Jake Bolton against Stuart Hagestad and William Mao in the last match remaining. Flanagan and Bolton holding that 2-up lead for Great Britain and Ireland. And Danny was determined that the GB&I team was just out by a few yards here. Caught a bit of a break. This is on a bit of a down-grain portion of this apron here, Zing, so shouldn't get much resistance from the grain, so should be able to just hit this a little check into the uphill slope, and then hopefully it'll release to the hole. Not the easiest of shots, but no, there's a chance.
It's a dicey little shot. It's going to go low. Trying to bounce it on there. You know, we did the flyover on this hole. I just said the second shot, if you don't want it, miss this green to the left today. And I guess where he was about as good a spot as you could be on the left-hand side, and still very difficult.
Yeah, the easier of the two shots here. Yep. A little bit of it downhill, so it's going to take some of the spin off in the trajectory, so just has to land this just on the green.
Oh, boy. He went after that, and he's noticed it. Now, see, he had so much speed there, and in a bunker, speed is spin, but these greens don't spin.
I just didn't think he saw the right shot there. He didn't need to land it that far into the green.
All right, let's go back down to Steve Sands.
All right, Dan was talking about it all throughout your guys' match. You're an alternate, and here you are playing in your first match here at Seminole at the Walker Cup, Mac. How do you deal with the emotions of the last couple of days?
It's been a whirlwind of emotions from being sick on, I guess it was Thursday night, to being able to play this morning. It was awesome. I mean, I was so nervous on that first tee ball that I hit on that second hole. But after that, we calmed down and we played some awesome golf coming in. So
I was going to say, when you were toppling on with him and you knew that he might be a touch on the nervous side, Ricky, what were you going through inside?
I mean, I was nervous, the same as him. I mean, the first 4 or 5 holes, we were kind of jittery and we're a little just worried about everything. And then once we kind of got settled in, we started playing some really good golf. And, you know, alternate shots such a tough format where, you know, you have to be really good with your competitor, with your teammate and stuff, and we did a really good job of that today, so it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, job well done. Congratulations on the point.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Let's go back out to 15.
And the Americans trying to chip away here on the Flanagan-Bolton lead. This is Hagestad for birdie at this par 5 15th.
And Zing, just those subtle nuances of these settled greens here, just a lot of mini breaks as this ball works its way to the hole. Feels like it wants to go right to left throughout, but in just the number of times I've played here, this putt just does not want to turn back toward the ocean for some reason. So very easy to overread. This putt will give GB&I a good look. They're just about 6 or 7 feet closer on a similar line.
Good looking putt. Hagestad rolls it in at a great time.
That was huge, guys, right there. Great read, great pace.
Yeah, on the scale of difficulty, I mean, that is a very difficult putt. Uphill, side slope, the collar's kind of right there on your backstroke, and why don't you just fall to the left here at the end?
Well, not to mention the circumstance.
Their
backs against the wall.
Yep.
Oldest player on either team, 2016 U.S. Mid-Amateur champion. You could call Quade Cummins a mid-am player because he's 25 years old, but certainly not the long amateur resume that this guy has. Hagestad in so many USGA championships has been a part of it, and a big putt he rolled in there. Now he's trying to dodge the Flanagan birdie to tie the hole. So the Americans have a little hope there. They're now just one down. Hagestad and William Mao with 3 holes left in the final of the 4 foursome matches. When you make a Walker Cup team, chances are you're going to play at one of the great golf venues in all the world. Look at the Walker Cup venues on the United States side alone. That is just an unbelievable list of places.
Seminole, Chicago Golf Club, Cypress Point, and L.A. North, the country club.
Yep, headed to Cypress Point after they go to St. Andrews.
I mean, the whole list, really.
Those are the next 2 venues.
Those are all iconic venues for this championship, and I think it's awesome.
You just can't stack up a better lineup than that. Best golf courses in the world, hosting the best amateurs in the world every 2 years. Been doing it since 1922. 48th edition of the Walker Cup match.
There's Nathaniel Crosby.
There he is. How about his Cinderella U.S. Amateur title back at Olympic Club?
I caddied. I missed match play in that amateur that he won, and caddied for a guy that Nathaniel beat in the semifinals. And he was just on a mission that week.
And he's out there watching this anchor match. Hagestad and William Mao trying to stay in it here. This is a tee shot at 16.
Stewart, long iron, Noda. That U.S. Amateur for Nathaniel Crosby, 1981 at the Olympic Club, 40 years ago this summer. Now Flanagan.
Yeah, Hagestad could not have placed it out there any better. So doing exactly what he had to do is put the pressure on this GB&I team, and this is not a great tee shot. It's headed left. See if it stays in the fairway.
Just hangs in there, Noda, down that left-hand side. Now it's time for Legendary Champions, presented by Rolex.
I'd sort of played amateur golf for 2 years just for that moment, because the Walker Cup I played in was at home at Royal County Down, and it was a pretty special week for me. Opening ceremony was a proud moment for me because they let me put the flag up and everything, and it's just an honor to be selected for your country. It's a week that you obviously want to win, you want to play well, but I think it's a week you have to enjoy. You're going to build a lot of friendships and relationships that you're going to take with you probably for the rest of your life.
Well, that's a very, very sad end.
We came up a little bit short, but just the passion that everyone showed and the camaraderie between everyone, it was great to see.
Fond memories for Rory McIlroy 14 years ago, part of that GB&I Walker Cup team. On the other side, the American captain, Buddy Marucci. What do you recall from Rory back in 2007 and that entire week for you and your team?
Well, it was just an amazing match coming down to the last hole. But let me tell you about Rory. 2 things I noticed about Rory during that match as a young man. Number one, as the matches got more difficult, Rory's swing got slower and longer. It was very impressive to watch him swing the golf club during those matches. He didn't play as well as I know he would have liked, but it's just terrific. Secondly, in defeat, I had never seen a young man handle defeat as well as Rory did that week. He could not have been more of a gentleman. He was turning pro Sunday night. He took the time to stay and congratulate everybody. I mean, it was really impressive for a young man to act the way Rory did in front of his home crowd and losing. It was just remarkable, and of course it shouldn't be a surprise the way he's handled himself since, but just a wonderful experience for our team with Rory.
And I know, buddy, you get a chance to play with his father, and he's the guy that taught, you know, Rory all those lessons you just talked about, being the kind of individual that we've come to know from Rory, so it's not a surprise. I know you know his dad well and play a lot of golf with him here as a fellow member at Seminole.
Well, yes, once you know Jerry, you know, understand why Rory is the way he is. Jerry McIlroy, one of the great men in the world, and yes, we have a great time when we get together a couple times a week.
That's a pretty good
terrific.
pace.
Yeah, it's terrific.
Yeah, everybody wants Rory to be tougher and, you know, whatever, but it's just his personality is what it is. He's the way he is, and Rory's expanding his horizons. He's on the policy board on the tour. He's got a baby and a wife, and his life has changed.
32 years old now, Rory. He's just a couple shots off the lead at Quail Hollow. So we wish Rory all the best in North Carolina this weekend.
2-1, the Americans with the lead here in the morning foursomes. One match remaining on the golf course. Angus Flanagan and Jake Bolton, one up against Stuart Hagestad and William Mao. Looks like it's going to be Bolton first to go.
It is Burko. He's got 144 left to the hole. He's got a great angle from this far left-hand portion. This is not where they were aiming, but certainly avoided the penalty area just left of the ball, and now have an advantageous avenue toward this hole.
Bolton, 22-year-old Englishman, one of the alternates, thrust into some action here on a Saturday at Seminole.
Yeah, really genius for the USGA and RNA to implement that alternate system. Gives both teams a chance to put their best sides in action, and could actually work out in their favor here if this GB&I side is able to hold on to this one-up lead.
Big second shot here for Bolton. Running into a few technical issues with our coverage of this anchor match.
There's a big wall of wind up there. Just got to make sure he takes enough to get it back to the hole. A little bit of a false front, about 6 or 7 pace short of the hole.
We'll have single camera coverage on these last holes.
This is not a good shot here at all.
Oh no.
That's all nerve. That was 30 yards left of where he was aiming.
I think the guy feeling the most pressure is our lone cameraman right now.
Could be. Great opportunity now.
Yeah, so about 10 yards closer. Zing just has to take this right at the hole is what he's decided to do with this ball.
Yeah, there you go.
Good shot there by William Mao. Americans one down in this match. They've got the advantage here at 16, so I think a critical opportunity if GB&I can find a way to win this match, steal 2 of the 4 points in the morning foursomes. You would think Captain Stuart Wilson for Great Britain and Ireland would feel like mission accomplished.
Absolutely.
Out of the gates.
If they can leave with a half this morning, a tie this morning, they would be thrilled. An hour or so ago, it looked like it was going to be a 3-1 or even 3.5 to a half. And really now, it's legitimately could be tied.
And that's a pattern that the U.S., you know, they've won the opening foursome sessions only twice in the last Walker Cup. So obviously GB&I has known the importance of the opening foursome match and has gotten it done for the most part in recent Walker Cup history. In 2005 and 2009 is the only time in the last 11 Walker Cups that the Americans have won the opening session. So
that's a surprise because they've won most of those matches as well.
Well, they come back in the singles and they've got some firepower in that format, which we'll see later today. 8 singles matches on tap following the completion of the foursomes in this final match, and then 10 singles matches tomorrow, and that's where Nathaniel Crosby's troops, you were over there overseas the last
Couple
Walker
years
Cup,
ago.
Burko, and you witnessed that firepower that the U.S. had that ended up putting the Walker Cup away.
Yeah, to win 8 of the 10 points available on those Sunday singles a couple years ago. I mean, that is the strength, the depth of the American squads. Usually every 2 years is just a little bit better than Great Britain and Ireland. So critical to the point again here in 2021 that GB and I can hang around, keep things close, and then try to get it to that last session where ultimately anything can happen. So GB and I, they got to find a way to get up and down and make 4.
They really do, and this is a very straightforward bunker shot for Flanagan here. Hit a very nice one at the 14th, which was a lot harder than this one, so just needs to land it about halfway there and just let it run up and back to where this hole's cut. Oh, that was thin.
Seen a few like that, a couple drop kicks and a couple balls come out thin.
He plays
Some
quickly.
Of these bunkers don't have that much sand in the very bottoms of them.
Sorry about that, Paul. Flanagan gets in there. He doesn't waste much time. And
I noticed that putting as well. He gets in and he's ready to rock.
And what did Buddy Marucci just say about Rory McIlroy 14 years ago? When things got a little more pressure packed, everything slowed down a little bit. You got to remember, these are young men.
Yeah, and that's what you want. I mean, the last thing you want when the pressure amps up is for everything to speed up, and I think it's a gift. You know, when you watch Tiger under pressure, he even blinks slowly. Everything is with a purpose.
Yeah, and you bring that up, Zing, and, you know, with Tiger, that was something that he was developed from a very young age in terms of breathing techniques and just terms of making sure that his cadence through his pre-shot routines, his decision-making, even the discussions with the caddy on certain shots got a little bit slower. He just felt like as the situation got a little bit more amped up and the energy got higher, he needed to counteract that by being much calmer and more patient.
Yeah, not everybody has that strength or even recognizes that as a weakness, but yeah, that's the key here. Well, now we got another camera working, it appears.
Great Britain and Ireland still away. Now the 4th shot, this for Jake Bolton.
Yeah, I'm surprised at this club selection. Must be trying to make this one, Burko, because I thought he would have gone with a less lofted option, maybe even a putter.
Pretty well handled.
Yeah, still not going to be good enough.
That 5 conceded, but with the Americans in close, 2 putts from about 10 feet or so will tie this match up.
Yeah,
See,
not
now,
gonna
I
find
think
a much flatter putt out here today, guys. It's pretty flat in this section of the green. Not much downhill grain to consider here.
You know, I was thinking, though, if the Americans tie this match, I think the pressure shifts all over the GB and I team to not lose. They were just 2 up a few minutes ago, and boy, if they go down 3-1 in the morning.
Yeah, it's interesting how those little shifts can make a difference in the mindset. You know, the GB and I team comes in, they're on paper pegged to lose this match, but you know, you're getting a chance where you're 2 up with a handful of holes to play and you lose 2 in a row. It's certainly feel like you gave something away, but they're most likely going to walk off here tied. See what they can do on the last 2.
This is Hagestad just cozying that one down there. And if you're the Americans and Captain Nathaniel Crosby, you want that 30-year-old in this moment to realize the bigger picture of what it stands for.
Great point. And that's why he's sitting in the spot he's in. This is a critical point for both squads.
So they're all tied up heading to 17. And we'll let you know that our uninterrupted coverage of the USGA Championships, it's presented by Rolex. So glad to be at Seminole Golf Club for the 48th playing of this Walker Cup match. Simply ideal conditions on one of the great golf courses in all the country. The Americans gathering together, and you briefly saw on the left side John Pack right there.
That's a good sign.
Unable to make the flag raising ceremony yesterday due to that stomach virus. So to see him out here supporting his team, that has to be a really strong indicator that he is on his way to getting a little bit closer to 100%, guys.
Yeah, he's a 4th ranked amateur in the world, 22-year-old. Senior at Florida State, who's got a stellar resume It is a heck of a player to not have on your side at full strength, but a good sign that he's out here as we look behind 17, the par 3 17th, and William Mao.
You know, under normal circumstances, just a tough green to hit. Wind pushing hard off the ocean here from left to right. Mao primarily hits a little bit of a left to right shot, so it's going to be difficult for him to get it tight. Starts it well left, waiting for it to cut. It's not cooperating though.
And it's back in that back bunker.
That's okay. That's not the worst place to be.
And that's what he had to do, Zing. I mean, he likes that little left to right bleeder and has not hit a lot of draws today, so certainly wasn't going to do it here under this circumstance. Rely on your go-to shot and just didn't cut.
No, it's not the most friendly, most welcoming putting surface on the golf course. It tends to reject anything that flies in the middle of the green. It launches forward.
Just gorgeous scenery right off to the left there, the Atlantic Ocean.
And of the four in this group, Bolton's been the most solid with his iron play, with the exception of the previous approach shot. He's been pretty good.
And again, Noda, he's one of the alternates forced into action here.
Yeah, in a pretty big spot, Danny. Oh, just another poor swing, very similar to the one he just hit.
Oh, wow.
Well, they're in big-time danger of losing this hole. That's virtually impossible. I don't even know if you can get that on the green.
Well, we saw the momentum switch dramatically in the first two matches, and we've seen it switch dramatically in this final match that remains. Flanagan and Bolton. Buddy Marucci had a 2-up lead through 14, and now the American squad of Hagestad and William Mao have felt the momentum go back their way. As a captain and as a player, how do you deal with this sudden shift?
Well, just reporting on what's happening this morning, Nathaniel has to be really happy right now. He would have taken 2-2 after this morning's matches. Stuart Wilson, on the other hand, has to be concerned because he does not want to get down 3-1 with the favored American team in the singles. He would have loved them in a head, but he certainly doesn't want to be down. So this last match is a lot more critical than you might think. I know it's early in the weekend, but these early matches really matter, and I think it's this match is much bigger for Great Britain and Ireland than it is for the United States.
Yeah, no doubt about that. I imagine GB&I captain would have been thrilled with a 2-2 split, and right now they're in danger of losing this match. It looked like it was going to be a 2-2 split a few minutes ago, didn't it?
Yep.
And it's really now. If the Americans win this, that would be cause for concern.
And while it's a critical point, Paul, it's the manner in which Great Britain and Ireland could be giving this one back to the Americans that might be a little more difficult to overcome.
It's back to the momentum thing again, and yeah, it's real. I'll tell you that. I don't know if he can get this on the green, Noda, from where he is.
Yeah, this is the worst of all the evils here. It's very soft and unpredictable in terms of the lie. It's downhill. It's on a little bit of tuft of grass, so you just have even more uncertainty as just how much bounce is going to be under there for you. And this is typically one you see scoot across the green with too much pace on it. And to your point, guys, about the pressure, you know, it's one thing to be out there with your teammate and your caddy and matches moving along just fine, but about 2 holes ago, everybody showed up. All their teammates, the captain showed up, and all of a sudden, you know, it's different when you're playing in front of your peers. You know, you feel a little bit more pressure just because you don't want to let them down.
Yeah, Noda, you played in one of these. You felt the adrenaline of what playing for your country as an amateur in this format can produce.
You know, I made the same mistakes that Angus Flanagan. At times I just started playing too fast and getting out of my rhythm, and I didn't play my best golf that week, and it's easy for the pressure to get to you.
So this is Angus Flanagan dealing with a ball below his feet in the sand. Tough shot.
Go.
Oh, wow. What a shot. Oh, and he feels like he got robbed a little bit as well.
It had a little bit of check in it, which there's nobody in the world that would have predicted that coming out of that lie.
Well, he hit right on the face of that bunker, and it just, what a beautiful hop.
Flanagan, 22-year-old from Surrey, England, playing his college golf, a senior at Minnesota. Handling this pressure shot really well. He thought it would have been even a little better.
I can't believe it's not. I can't believe it came out like that. Yeah, you got robbed, buddy. That was a bad bounce.
Flanagan's the second player from the University of Minnesota to be named as a player, joining John Hughes. As you now look at Hagestad.
Has not been great around the greens today. Left quite a few average shots that he's hit. Not this time, though.
Oh, it's a beauty by Hagestad.
Easy.
It's running out a little bit, but that was not easy to judge the speed.
This is hard. You know, the greens don't allow the ball to spin that much on these chip shots. They'll hold a full shot, but not a chip.
Talked about all the big-time championship experience in USGA events, especially for Stuart Hagestad. Here he was at the 2016 U.S. Mid-Amateur Championship, putting it away there. Just an impressive player. We talked about, you know, the rest of these guys are, you know, all in their college tournaments and they're proving themselves week in, week out. He has a job. He's currently in the NBA program at USC. He's got to go out and prove himself to be looked at by the Walker Cup and the USGA committee that selects these players. So he goes out and wins the U.S. Mid-Amateur Championship there to put that on his resume. He was the first USGA Mid-Amateur champion to make the cut at the Masters, and 21 USGA championships in all for the now 30-year-old Stuart Hagestad.
He took down Scott Harvey 5 years ago in Greensboro, North Carolina. He was 5 down after 25, 4 down after 31, and then that birdie putt on the 37th hole to take home the championship.
Wow.
Yep, that's showing some clutch play, and he's turned it as a game around. He still has a par putt left for the Americans. His teammate William Mao will stroke it, but this for par for Jake Bolton for the GBI team.
It's going to swing from his left to right.
Nobody's really even come close on this putt yet. Until now.
Until now. What a putt by Bolton.
Boy, that's how you make up for a couple of errant approach shots. Make the huge one on the 17th.
How big could that end up being by the end of this day?
That's huge.
Wow.
I mean, literally, you're about to almost auto lose the hole, and suddenly you can win it. And this is what GBI needed.
Angus Flanagan handles that sandy lie, gives him a chance for it, and Bolton drains it. And so now for the tie is Mao, and all of a sudden GBI has a one-up lead with one more to play.
Incredible.
Stuart Wilson and his squad looking to tie this up at 2 points apiece heading into the afternoon singles. Match play, ebb and flow indeed. And as a founding partner since 1997, the USGA has helped First Tee create experiences that build character in millions of kids through the game of golf. That legacy continues today. And for more information on how to get your kids involved, you can go to firsttee.org. So Angus Flanagan off the sandy lie behind, putting Jake Bolton in the position to make a left to right downhill slider.
Can't tell you how hard that putt was. It's blazing fast down the hill. And
GB&I captain Stuart Wilson watching Bolton, his alternate, deliver with a huge putt in the American side of things. Good sportsmanship displayed there.
Yes.
But all of a sudden, Flanagan and Bolton have Hagestad and Mao on the ropes.
Obviously like to hug the left side as much as possible. The strong left to right wind makes that a difficult.
Oh, down.
Flanagan headed way right.
All right? That's fine. Yeah, I'm
Should
ready.
be okay, though, as they're saying.
Yeah, it's a long ways away, but you can see it's out on the driving range. Perfect lie.
That's how far right it went.
Well, it's better than going left. That left gets short, that left side, and you can see all those sand dunes. The bail is to the right, and generally we've seen those bunkers in play on the right today. Seen 3 players in there.
Yeah, Zing, I've been in those dunes to the left, and you're really left with nothing up that side. Hagestad's going to have to start this down the left side. He, too, prefers to hit it pretty straight, maybe just a little left-right in it.
Hagestad looks like he likes it. Playing a peeler left to right over the dunes.
Yeah, that's a great shot.
That is a solid shot. William Mao will get the second shot from there. Let's take a look at this 18th.
Green, these bunkers are incredible. And on a windy day, those sea grapes on the left, believe it or not, come into play.
And this is another one of those holes where they added some yardage. New back tee added approximately 50 yards, 12 bunkers on the hole. Crenshaw Court did a magnificent job here in updating this course and making it even more fit for a competition like this. Well, earlier we saw Angus Flanagan hit it way right at the 18th and into the driving range, but it's okay to play it from there, Craig Winter, right?
That's right, Dan. The club, week in, week out, driving range is in play, and we're trying to keep it as true to what the members typically do out here. So that is inbounds. Jake's going to have a shot from the turf out there in the range.
Just a little longer, as you said.
Yeah, he's way back there. He might have a little tree trouble, too. There's a bunch of palm trees that could give him a little trouble. I don't think so. He's far enough back. But he will be going into the wind at least and directly facing the green. Shot from the fairway. Green slopes hard to the right and to the front.
Yeah, I mentioned Corin Crenshaw, Zing. The main goal of that fabulous design team was to restore Seminole to the way it was originally designed by Donald Ross. Hundreds of trees and acres of vegetation removed in the process, and they really opened up the course, even exposing the sandy nature even more. We'd mentioned the new tees were built, current ones extended on 10 holes, and they did a great job.
They sure did. And all the holes that they lengthened except for 12 look exactly the same as they did when they were shorter, because they kept the same shot integrity just on a bigger scale.
I have no idea.
Well, Noda, you're right there. What kind of angle is this, and what kind of yardage is this going to be for GB&I?
Well, GB&I is looking at 172 from an absolute perfect lie. Managed to find a spot on this range where they're going to have a direct angle at the hole, and not really any issues with that row of palm trees that goes up the right side of the 18th fairway. So all in all, a pretty good break for these guys, considering the status of the match and where that tee shot started off of.
Yeah, again, they've got the one-up lead, so if they tie the hole here, that'll put another point on the board for Great Britain and Ireland and tie this thing up with the singles matches to conclude the first of the 2 days.
And Zing, even from this angle there, so far to the right now, the wind is coming just a little bit more into their face, which is going to just allow them to sort of utilize their calculations a little bit more accurately. You're not factoring in a crosswind or whatnot, and the ball will come in just a tad softer.
Yep, I agree. It's critically important.
Kind of online with the flag.
It's critically important that he gets his 10 full yards on the green. Or it could come back, and it'll go 50, 60 yards down the hill if he doesn't get it to the middle of the green, Noda.
And let's not forget, Zing, his last 2 iron shots have been his 2 worst of the day by far. And they were both short and to the left, so really has to recalibrate and focus here.
Really made a big putt on the last. Time for a big shot here at 18.
Good looking shot right at the green. Really nice.
What a clutch shot.
Oh,
Jake Bolton delivers again.
oh, wow.
22-year-old from England who advanced to the semifinals at last year's amateur championship, which was won by Joe Long.
Not wasting any time.
Nope.
Mal taking dead aim from 110. This has to spin to the right just a bit.
Did, but he's come up a hair short, Noda, and he has to make that putt.
So Angus Flanagan hits it right into the driving range, and Jake Bolton says, no problem, I'll hit a laser up the hill, which is probably going to end up putting this match away. You never know. And GB and I watching Jake's shot come up and land in great shape. And they have designs on making this 2-2 heading into the 8 singles matches this afternoon. What a shot. What a 17th putt by Bolton for par.
Yep.
And then what a second shot he delivers here, again as the alternate. Didn't even know he was going to be playing until the stomach bug went around here between both sides. Great stuff.
And Zing, that's just the whole fun part about this format with amateur golfers and collegiate golfers and young players. Just you never know where the greatness is going to come from. And you know, he had no reason to hit a good shot there because the previous two are so poor, but he just dug down deep and found it somehow, and now has put his team in a great position to win this match.
Yeah, that was opportunistically clutch. That's what that was. You get an opportunity like that, and he seized it. Brilliant 7-iron in there.
We talked about Joe Long, and we talked to Stuart Wilson, the captain of the Great Britain and Ireland side today. Joe Long, one of the great standouts of this GB&I side, but he probably got hit the worst by this stomach bug. And it was Long who beat Jake Bolton in the semis on his way to the amateur title that he won, which is as big as it gets over there. The amateur championship that Joe Long won. Jake Bolton was a part of that and lost to Long to be eliminated. But without Long here today, it's Jake Bolton who's just might be the MVP.
Yeah, no doubt about that. You got to replace the best player as an alternate and then hit a shot like that. It's pretty solid.
Yeah, there's a little bit of pressure in that. Trying to step in there for a player like Joe Long, and now as Hagestad and Mao try and figure out what this putt is going to do. I see it going just a little left to right uphill. I got to get this to the hole. It's not going to have a whole lot of speed in it as far as what they've seen today.
Yeah, no, they're one down. They got to be aggressive here, right? No
Absolutely.
doubt. They got a putt to make here.
Yeah, these are the hard ones to make, Zing, because your typical dead speed dying at the hole sometimes comes up short. They just can't afford to leave this short. So take a little bit of break out of it, play a little bit more pace, and just give yourself a chance to squeak out a tie if possible.
Yep. That's the challenge, isn't it? Always when you have to make a putt. I mean, and they have to make this. Can you hit it to the proper speed? You want to reach, but you don't want to have it going 5 feet by either. That won't go in.
Well, Hagestad with more experience in this event than anybody on either side. A big putt here to put some pressure.
Oh,
it just
no.
never looked like it had enough, did it?
No, and that's just what you don't want.
Right on line, though, if he would have just hit at the appropriate speed.
So all they need is 2 putts from here, and Great Britain and Ireland is going to square up the first session at 2-2. Angus Flanagan just cozying it up there, and that will do it. The final point of the morning foursomes goes to Great Britain and Ireland, the huge underdogs in the 48th Walker Cup, and they are 2-2 headed into the 8 singles matches to conclude the first of the 2 days of competition.
How about right here? Right here.
Stuart Wilson, the GB&I captain, has to be ecstatic.
Oh, yeah, I would think so.
Especially after the way they turned the first 2 matches around, Zing. One ended up in a loss as Hammer and Thompson were able to hang on, but Power and Murphy took their only lead of the day at 17, hung on at 18 to win it. Meisner and Castillo followed up with the U.S.'s second point, and then it's Flanagan and Bolton who had an incredible par save at the 17th, and then hanging on the 18th to win it. 2-2.
It was a pretty impressive morning. I mean, really, the guys, they talked about how nervous they were, Dan, when they came out of the gate and they birdied that first hole like it was nothing.
By the way, as the Americans gather there and get ready for the singles competition, it's the first time in 38 years that each match in a session has gone all 18 holes in a Walker Cup. So we got everything we could possibly ask for today. The last time, 1983, the Saturday foursomes of the competition. So everything went to 18, and we are tied at 2 as we send you down to Steve Sands.
Dan, thank you. They were just talking about how it was tied at 2 now after these morning matches. When you saw that you guys were down 2-1, how much emphasis did you put on this particular point to make sure it was tied up after these morning matches?
I didn't really give it much thought, to be honest. I think it was just all about focusing, make sure we do get our point, regardless of what's happened in front. And obviously our point is hugely important now. So,
how difficult was it being an alternate, coming in, coming out, and then ended up being able to play?
It was fun. It was kind of nice to know that we could play with Jake and everything. So Jake and I's game are great with each other. He hits it pretty straight, same with me, and putts it great. So it was good though.
You guys are the underdogs coming in, and here you are at 2-2. Does that change anything at all going into the afternoon singles for you guys, or does it just build the confidence as you go through these matches?
I don't think so. I think the guys they have a lot of self-belief, and I don't see why that should change. We're all good players, and we all deserve to be here, so we're going to give our best shot.
That's very well said. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Dan, let's go back to you.
Impressive indeed. Great Britain and Ireland as we take you through some of the highlights that helped get us to this 2-2 point. Hammer and Thompson of the United States taking on Fitzpatrick and Brown. And this was how Cole Hammer ended it for the United States in a tight match when Fitzpatrick and Brown rallied back from a 3-down deficit. They needed that chest-bumping big birdie putt by Cole Hammer to put it away over Alex Fitzpatrick and Barkley Brown. So the U.S. putting the first point on the board. Cummins and Eckroat against Power and Murphy. And this at the 18th, Murphy for par to win the match. The Irish duo coming up big. They were 3 down to Cummins and Eckroat. Turned it around, turned it into a point for GB&I. Meisner and Castillo able to hang on against Jack Dyer and Matty Lamb. This was Castillo's second for the Americans up the hill, walking it up like he likes it. And it was a beauty. So they came to the 18th. Meisner and Castillo did with that 1-up lead, and so Lamb and Dyer were scrambling, and with the miss, that turned it into a 2-up win for Quade Cummins, or actually Matt Meisner and Ricky Castillo. So that put another point on the board for the U.S. And then the last point at stake of the morning foursomes. And this was after Jake Bolton drained a putt for par on 17. Flanagan put him out in the driving range off the teasing.
Yeah, this has to be the shot of the day in the morning. We saw some spectacular shots from tough spots here on 18. That was probably the best.
And we're back down to Steve.
With the United States captain, Nathaniel, how challenging have the last few days been for you with the lineup changes and all of the illnesses?
It's been bizarre for a lot of reasons. I think this event was such a challenge to put together going in the last few months. Robbie Zalesnik and the USGA, they jumped through a lot of hoops to make this event happen. And then for the guys, both sides, I think we're 8-7. We have a 1-up lead on who got sick this week. Out of the 12 players on each team, I think it was 15 guys got sick, and both captains, so it wasn't much fun the last few days. But we were worried that 3 or 4 other guys that didn't get sick were going to wake up this morning with a problem, so we had all sorts of variables and considerations.
So how were you able to put together this afternoon's lineup based upon what you know health-wise?
Well, fortunately, both the RNA and the USGA were flexible with their terms, and normally we would have had the lineups in for both morning and afternoon yesterday at 3 o'clock, but we actually were able to delay this morning's until late last night, and then this afternoon's just had to be due at midday. So it was great that they were flexible. You wouldn't want to put guys out there that were sick and order them to play 36 holes.
Well, things couldn't be any tighter right now. 2-2 going into the afternoon. Good luck this afternoon.
Thanks you very much.
All right, Dan, let's go back up to you.
All right, Steve, thank you very much. And what stands out from that singles competition that is coming up is John Pack and Joe Long back out there.
Yeah.
Two sick guys are going to be thrown out there in the 8 singles matches. But Zing, as you reflect back on what you saw in the morning foursomes, what are your thoughts? What's the headline for the morning session?
That the GBI is still in it, very much in it, and actually has the momentum going into the afternoon matches. I mean, it looked like they were going to get blown out about an hour and 10 minutes or so before this thing ended, and it didn't happen. As a matter of fact, it went the other way, and it was impressive to watch. You know, watching these guys warm up, seeing it on paper, it's supposed to be a blowout, but watching them practice the last few days, the GB&I team aren't a bunch of slouches. They can play.
Absolutely. And they handled the Seminole golf course. How do you think the course is playing, and how is it going to continue to get tougher as the afternoon and tomorrow comes out?
It's going to get drier, and the greens don't get faster, but drier and crispier. It's going to be tough on them, I think, and endurance is going to be a factor. All these guys have been sick, Dan, this week. That's going to be a factor. The caddies have to play a huge role today as these guys start hitting poor shots to get them to know where to miss. That's the key here.
We're going to see some new players. We're going to see Charles Cootie's grandson, Pearson Cootie, out first at 2:30, and wouldn't you know it, the Great Britain and Ireland sends out Alex Fitzpatrick out of the gates once again. He hit the first shot of this 48th Walker Cup earlier today, and Fitzpatrick will do it again here for Great Britain and Ireland in the singles competitions. Joe Long taking on Quade Cummins, the Oklahoma Sooner. Once again, uninterrupted coverage of the USGA Championships is presented by Rolex. What an opening session as Great Britain and Ireland, the big underdogs, come back to tie it up. As a reminder, coming up next, you've got the Wells Fargo Championship. And then our coverage of the 48th Walker Cup, presented by Rolex, continues today at 4:30 Eastern Time on Peacock, and then at 5:30 Eastern Time on Golf Channel. Again, the first singles matches of the sessions. 43, President Bush firing up the U.S. side yesterday and last night. Great Britain and Ireland fired up, turning around a couple of the early matches in the morning foursomes to give themselves some hope as the U.S. tries for its 5th straight win on American soil. But they've got their hands full with an inspired Great Britain and Ireland team. We'll see you a little bit later on.